Welcome this morning. It is Monday as we're recording this. Who knows what day it will be streamed? Who knows what day you will watch it? Does it matter? No, it does not matter. We like to start the week with a little bit of mindfulness, embodiment, and connection in the Zoom room. It's one of the reasons that we come to this Zoom room is for the connection. And I'm just scanning around the faces on the gallery view in the Zoom room, and it's that connection with each other that's actually really important. So if you are afraid to come along, 'cause sometimes it's a bit scary coming along. Maybe I'm just speaking for myself. Sometimes it's a bit scary to go along to a Zoom, especially when you know it's an established one. We don't bite. Well, just a little bit. And it's a very, very friendly, welcoming, warm group. So it is Mindful Monday. We will have a centering. I'll offer you a check-in. We might in the Zoom room because we've had a verbal one already. We got ahead of ourselves. And then I'm going to share something from the book. And this morning, sometimes I go looking. And this morning I said, don't do it, and let the book choose. And I let the book choose. And I decided, even if I didn't like the sound of it, I was going to let the book choose. And I have done. And I think it's quite good, actually. I think it's quite a good one. So hopefully you'll enjoy that. Okay, let's have a centering. So you can be sitting just as you are. Eyes preferably open if you're wanting to practice centering in everyday life, but you do not need to look at the screen. You can always use this as a mini meditation and close your eyes if you prefer. First, some awareness. Notice sounds. Perhaps you can differentiate a number of different sounds that you can hear and name them in your mind. Some might be in the distance and some close. And then take awareness to your vision. What can you see around you? And again, naming a number of items, things you can see without getting into the story of them, but noticing them. Notice anything that you can smell. Even pick up something. Maybe your drink. Or if you have something scented. And notice what it does to you when you bring that awareness to the body. Your mind might want to wander off into a story. Awareness of anything you can taste. Even take a drink to bring that sensation of taste. And then awareness of touch. Now, sometimes when we guide through the senses, touch is way before rather than the last one. But I'm trying to bring your awareness in. So bringing it to the body, notice the touch of your body resting on furniture or your feet on the ground, your clothing against your skin, the temperature of the air. Notice awareness of touch on the body and then within the body. How am I as a body right now? Then take awareness to your breath. Notice your breath this morning. Is it shallow or deep? Is it rapid or slow? Sometimes having awareness changes it. Okay, B for balance. Have a little rock. Back and forth. My chair's creaking. Side to side, up and down. Have a wiggle, have a jiggle. Find that spot of least effort. Either sitting back supported but balanced, or sitting tall and balanced. Bringing balance to the breath. See if you can equalize the inhale and the exhale. No need to retain or hold the breath. Awareness, balanced core. So we're looking for softness through the core, softness without collapse. Softness through the forehead, the eyes, the jaw, the neck, shoulders, chest and belly. Inhale, lengthen up through the spine. Exhale and soften. And again, maybe adding an audible exhale. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale. Second C connection. If you're in the Zoom room, you might want to look at the screen and see the other faces looking back. If you're not, if you're watching the recording, perhaps you can bring to mind a person, a pet, someone that makes you smile, someone that makes you feel warm. And then notice how you feel. Notice if there's any shift in how you feel from before the centering to now. And remember, you can do centering quickly. You can do it just with the breath. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale. Okay. Have a shimmy. So, an invitation to check in. Well, let me tell you what the word from the book is first. You see that? Annoyance. Oh, juicy. I thought that was juicy. There's so much there. So, first, check in before we look at it. Check in and notice if there's any annoyance in your body. It might be annoyance with someone. It might be annoyance with a thing. Like, I was trying to get a timer. Long story. I was trying to get a timer to work. Could I work it? No. I probably got a bit annoyed with it. It could be with another person, though. It could be with yourself. You might have a bit of annoyance with yourself, or you might be on the receiving end of annoyance. But notice, check in with your body. Is there any annoyance settling there? Is there something with a nice little wiggle and jiggle there just to have a little look? Is there any annoyance in my body today? It might have been there over something over the weekend. It might be a social situation. It might be the Amazon Prime knocking and not delivering. It might be anything. Notice. And overall, how much annoyance are you feeling right now? So for the Zoom room people, you can give us a hand. Lots of annoyance. No, I'm not feeling much annoyance today. No, there's not too much. Oh, there was a little bit. Oh, okay, we've got a good mixture. And I suspect from our conversations that the annoyance that some people might feel might be very specific rather than general. General annoyance can be quite uncomfortable, but we'll come to that. Okay, let's come to the book. Etymological root. Hey, I managed to say it this week. I don't know if I've pronounced it correctly. I'm still not very good. Thank you very much. Okay, from the late Latin, to make loathsome. Oh, that's good. Oh, notice how that feels. Because loathsome's a loaded word, isn't it? Really loaded. It's a nice word, loathsome. I feel it could be used very well in a play on a stage. Right, enough of that. And also, it is to me hateful. I think I prefer the word loathsome to hateful. Loathsome's kind of really juicy. So what we think or say, I don't like this and I wish it would go away. I'm seeing a nod from one particular corner of the Zoom room. Before I read the rest, an invitation to you to think, what does annoyance do? Or how does it land in your body? How does it make you feel as a body? I'll read it out as well, but just noticing what it does to you. Does it make you open and relaxed? No. Okay. Its impact on our openness to others. It closes us. And that's useful to know. You know, sometimes annoyance is entirely appropriate. It's an entirely understandable response. And sometimes it might be because we're hangry. You know what hangry is? Hangry is a combination of hungry and angry. And I certainly don't tolerate hunger, or I never used to. I probably don't, but it's not the same these days. But when I was younger, I didn't cope with hunger very well at all. Our reaction or impulse for action. Well, do we go forward and join in? Do we retreat and retract? To withdraw, we withdraw from participation, or most of us do. If it gets too much into anger, people might go flying in. Related emotions, frustration and anger. Purpose, now this is interesting, to tell us when we want to avoid or not participate in something. So it might have value if we can pause and notice it, recognize it, accept its presence, and then decide what to do with it. Remembering accepting doesn't mean you want to keep something. It's just acknowledging it's there and believing it's there, and then deciding what to do with it. Its orientation in time is in the present. It gets in the way because it signals us that something is both uncomfortable and irksome. Ooh. Sometimes we blame others for our annoyance and we lash out at them. Now that's interesting, isn't it? Because somebody might be responsible for the annoyance, but sometimes if we have annoyance in the body, we can be less tolerant and engaged with others, even when it's not directly related to them. And that I can certainly relate to that. How just put my halo back. None of us are angels. Well, there might be the odd one of you. How our body might feel. Maybe in the Zoom room you could give me a visual interpretation of how your body feels when you're annoyed. Oh yes, there's some faces, there's some limbs, there's some tightness, and everybody actually showed some tightness around the head and the neck and the shoulders. How our breath might be medium deep sighs. How our body might shape itself. Oh, so imagine for a moment, well, you can be nice to me again in a second. Imagine that you feel really annoyed with me right now. What's your reaction? What does your body do? Oh, beautiful. We had what? For those watching the recording, you are missing a treat. Although there's some scary stuff going on in the Zoom room. There is some projected irritation, irritability, and anger, and there is some rejection, turning completely away. Very nicely done in there. So we might shape ourselves turned away, head down, eyes rolled. Oh. That's a good one. Shaking of the head. Now, some people who watch this might have worked with me in the past. And I've probably shared with you before, but They would say that there was something called the look, and the look could convey annoyance. Well, it conveyed a multitude of things, but annoyance was included in there. And apparently it was very expressive. I could embody it quite well and convey it to other people. Okay. Now there's a quote here, and I thought you'd like this. People who think they know everything and are a great annoyance to those of us who do. Nice. Okay. So I'm going to stand up and go over there, and we're going to feel annoyance. But I think we also need to feel or explore what it's like to be on the receiving end of annoyance, or how to combat annoyance, because sometimes our annoyance is entirely appropriate and justified, and sometimes it's not. So you do not have to be standing, you can be seated. Wherever you are, feel into your feet. Perhaps lift your toes, even if you're seated. Even if they're in shoes, lift your toes, place one down at a time. Have a little rock in your seat or standing. Coming back into your body. I was thinking about this in the night. How do you bring yourself back to your body? I've been doing a lot of twirling videos, and I think it's one of the ways I bring myself back to my body when I want to feel into it again and emphasize myself grounded within my body. Okay, let's have a little swing side to side. You can even do this seated, just very gently. You know who I'm talking to. Some of you need to move very gently at the moment. And notice how that feels in your body. Any intuitive movement, any stretches, even on the days where we don't want to move, just a little bit of movement is good for us. And then come back to stillness. And consider the word annoyance or annoyed or annoying. And notice or explore, where do you feel when you are annoyed? Where is it in your body? It might be your chest, it might be your belly. And perhaps you can take a posture that shows when you're annoyed. It might be really contracted and tight. It might actually be coming forward into even a touch of aggression. But it might really close you down, make you turn away. And then perhaps you can bring some softness to that and purposely opening. You can even bring to mind the thing that might be causing you some annoyance and try that again. Something somewhere has probably caused you to be annoyed in the last week or two. And explore that with exaggeration. And with the same thing in mind, see if you can bring some softness and openness and gentleness. Not being a pushover, not changing the fact that it might not be right, but bringing softness back to you. Softness back to yourself. We can maybe lift the annoyance out and place it somewhere else, and it can sit over there for a while. Yeah, the hands have come to heart in the Zoom room, and maybe that's a way to bring softness back to yourself. Notice your neck, your shoulders, softness through the chest, the belly. And then imagine for a moment annoyance at you. It's maybe coming from the screen. It's not coming from me. It's imaginary. Annoyance coming at you and how that might make you feel. Might make you feel defensive, or it might make you respond with annoyance. That can escalate, or it might make you contract and turn away, not want to engage. And maybe that's happened. Maybe that's happened See if then you can bring back some softness again and openness, because that annoyance at you is within somebody else. It's not within you, it's within them. You can still be soft, open, have self-care, self-compassion. And yes, I see you're annoyed. I can see that you're annoyed about something, but I can still be me and open and calm with a little bit of compassion. And then let that go. Have a wiggle, have a shimmy, have a shake. And let's send a little bit of love into the Zoom room to get rid of any feelings of annoyance. So maybe coming from heart, from us, and then sharing and giving into the Zoom room or into the recording or into somebody else. And then receiving back into the heart and then giving a little back. Lovely. And then let it rest back in the heart space. Lovely. I'm going to come and sit back down. Just going to have a little check-in in the Zoom room. Check everybody's okay. And we will be back with you in a moment. Okay, some lovely reflections there in the Zoom room. We're going to have a guided meditation practice now. So, an invitation to you to find a comfortable position. Now, I say it again and again, but it's true that if you're strictly meditating, you are guided to sit tall. And if you look at the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, it very much talks about sitting tall with a long spine. However, we are not with the ancient yogi sages, and it is my recommendation to you to be as comfortable as you would like to be. And if that is lying down, then do so. With any meditation, you can close your eyes, but that can be uncomfortable for some people, so you can keep them open and have a soft gaze. If you feel anxious, you can look around the room and name objects like we did at the beginning. That can help bring us back down to a grounded sensation of feeling fingertips, feeling toes. And in this practice, we're going to have a body scan, which we do a lot because it really brings us home to the body. But the invitation to you is to notice whatever arises in each area of the body and notice the emotion along with that. It might be quite neutral. It might be a pleasant emotion. It might be annoyance, such as something not working properly or something causing you difficulty. So notice, and perhaps we can find a little extra softness if that arises there. So bringing awareness back into the whole body, however you're resting. Noticing the whole body resting and one side compared to the other. Notice your toes and your fingers, your belly and your chest. And perhaps just as we're starting, you can invite a little more softness everywhere. And take awareness down to the legs and all the way down to the feet. Awareness in the right foot and the left foot. Perhaps you can sense the heel of each foot. the top of the feet, the soles of the foot and the toes. Notice anything that arises in each foot and if the sensations are the same or different each side. You might even make some tiny movements in the feet to increase your awareness there. In with openness, acceptance, breathing out with softness, with ease. Letting your awareness move into the whole of each leg, the left leg and the right leg. Awareness of the skin over both legs, the muscles, the joints at the ankles, the knees, the hips. Perhaps comparing each leg and noticing anything that arises in both legs or either leg. Awareness of your own body's response to whatever arises. Perhaps there's something irritating or annoying. Maybe there's pleasant sensation. Breathing in with openness, expansion. Breathing out with softness, with ease. And shifting your awareness, moving it into the arms and down to the hands, the right hand and the left hand. And through each finger and each thumb. Sensing, imagining the skin of the hands, the muscles, the many bones within. Perhaps again taking those micro movements, really increasing your awareness there. And noticing what arises, what rests there, whatever sensation there is. Pleasure, discomfort. Perhaps something nagging or annoying within. Breathing in with openness, acceptance. Breathing out with softness, with ease. Moving awareness up through both arms, the whole of both arms, the right arm and the left arm. Noticing immediately if there's any difference, anything calling your attention more on one side. Awareness of the skin, muscles, bones. Awareness of anything that arises there, any sensations, whether it's pleasurable, irritating, annoying. Noticing. Breathing in with openness, with expansion. Breathing out with softness, with ease. Awareness of the arms and the legs and the arms, the hands and the feet and the hands. And shifting awareness up to the head and the face. Perhaps fluttering the eyelashes just a little, increasing sensation. The tongue and the mouth, the cheeks. And noticing anything that's present there, anything that arises into your awareness. Whether pleasant sensation, irritating or annoying, or neutral. Breathing in with openness, with expansion. Breathing out with acceptance, softness, ease. Shifting awareness to the torso, the main part of the body, perhaps down to the belly and the pelvis. Awareness of the skin, the muscles across the belly, the lower back, the pelvic floor. Awareness deeper, bones of the lower spine and the pelvis. And sensations within, from the organs, the belly, the pelvis. Noticing anything that arises there. Being open to what arises there. Whether neutral, pleasurable, painful or irritating. Quietly accepting. Observing. Being. Breathing in with openness, expansion. Breathing out with softness, with ease. And letting awareness move up into the chest. The heart of the body. Perhaps having awareness of the skin and the muscles around the chest, the bones of the rib cage and the back of the spine, and deep within, the lungs and the heart. Perhaps this is the home of kindness and compassion. Noticing anything that arises in the chest, anything, whether pleasant, difficult, neutral, annoying, accepting what is there. Breathing in with openness and expansion. Breathing out with softness, with ease. Perhaps you can sense or imagine the whole body here, opening and expanding and softening with ease, as though coming from the heart and spreading through the whole body. With openness and expansion, softness and ease. And letting awareness rest in the whole body, noticing anything that arises, whatever it is, for the next couple of minutes. Breathing in with openness and expansion. Breathing out with softness and ease. And perhaps we can take a little extra softness and ease into our days, into your day. As we reach the end of this practice, take any movements you need. You may wish to take a hand to heart, a hand to belly, or both hands to heart. Or take a hug, a little squeeze, a little bit of extra self-care. And then as you're ready, let that go. Come back to the screen if you're in the Zoom room. Thank you for joining us if you're watching the recording. I'm going to stop now and wish you a lovely, lovely week. We'll see you soon.